Hello everyone, 065 here, and today I wanted to show you guys a little bit of an update with the gold V2 I'm fixing for my friend. If you remember, the thing was in pretty bad shape, it was broken and all, but so far everything has been coming along nicely. Right now this is one of the legs I'm working on. What I ended up doing here is I ended up reusing the original wires that little brother plays when he rewired this VT. All I did was undo the wires, resolder them, and pretty much just got the untangled mess, and this is pretty much the result what it looks like now. Everything is in its spot, everything is just well soldered. Still gotta add some other cables, like the main harness points. Over here with the shells, it's the body. As you can see, it's been fixed. Re-glued the pieces in properly. Although there's a small piece here missing, but overall you can't really tell it was ever broken. In the back here, this entire piece ended up coming off completely once I started to fix it. It's on there now. Can't even, well, you can kind of see where it broke. And on the back, around here, I did fix these cracks here too. So this is pretty much all good now. The only thing that will still worry me is this one hand, no, this hand here, because this is the one that has the cable snapped, wherever that little piece went. Where'd it go? Ah, here it is. See, this is the piece. Here's the cable. The only reason that worries me that I feel like I probably won't be able to get this hand to work properly is because in order to get the hand open, I have to take this cap off, which was originally black, and then I can separate it. But when it comes to separating it, it's also a risk. I mean, the hand does not look like it's yellow, so it probably won't break when I try to get in halves, because there's a shaft that goes through here that tends to be locked into one side and can be quite a pain to get it out. So that still needs to be worked on. Now, with the entire body itself, a lot of progress has been made. I'm pretty sure as little brother, as the guy who known as remembers, is when he had this entire portion like rewired up, because I guess what ended up happening was these wires pulled out. But luckily, since I do have a box of V2 parts that I've pretty much been gathering up ever since I started fixing these, it's been replaced. The entire like sensor portion over here has been replaced, so it's all new. There's some other things I did. The head. The head was pretty much destroyed from the inside, and as you remember in the video, I said it was so tight that I couldn't even move it. It's all loose now. It has a new frame piece from the inside that pretty much lets the head like sit nicely onto the body, and the original piece, which it was this one, was originally shattered into small bits and pieces, but this is actually the new one. I actually ended up fixing the other one. I found all the pieces to it, and this is just a spare for now in case if something happens. So the entire head's been fixed. It's all good from the inside, and a lot of parts have been cleaned on it, like the neck encoder has been cleaned up. The body encoder, well, the waist encoder I should say, has been cleaned up. So far it's all good. Everything's plugged back in to like how it should be. I still gotta work on this leg with sorting out these wires. Wherever the heck the other little footboard went. Ah, here it is. You can see I pretty much redid the wires on this. Like I said, as a test I'm gonna be using the original wires that this V2 had, because they're like really thin. One thing is, little brother plays, if you guys are watching this video, if you guys can tell me where you got these wires, that would be great, because these actually do look pretty nice. At first I thought they were like single core wires where it only has one long strand from the inside, but no, it actually has multiple strands, and I'm like, okay, this is actually pretty good wire. Because the wires I used are the same like this, except they're a little bit thicker, which tends to make this entire tube a little bit bigger. And it kind of like doesn't always work. It works fine, but there are times it's just like I need to find thinner wires, and this actually ended up fitting fine in the tube. That's another thing. I actually added the tube. Oh, another thing I forgot to mention too was that this is the old neck piece that had with the rubber. See, this is broken. There's paint and it's ripped. Since of course I had, like I said, it has V2 parts. This is just one box that contains most of the electronical stuff. Some old boards are dead, gearboxes, and this is like a spare head I pulled out from the shed that came from another V2. And I guess, yeah, so far this has been coming along pretty nicely. Like I said, the only thing that might give me trouble is the hand, so I'm not sure how that's going to work out. And another thing is, I will have to look for new rods for the kneecaps. The thing that kind of gets me is, this is correct, this one's incorrect. As you can see, they're both exactly the same, and one should be like this, but with this down here. And the thing is, I do have spare kneecaps. The only issue is they're not painted. These are painted gold. For a lot of you who do not know, this is a custom gold V2. This is not legit. I mean, it looks nice, but yeah, so I'm gonna have to re-put these back on like how they were. And I think pretty much at this point this pretty much concludes it. And oh yeah, since this thing was missing a lot of screws, I do have a small bag that contains a lot of these are actually all the screws that came from legit V2, so this is like official hardware for it. Another thing that kind of worries me is once I actually reassemble this from the back. As you can see, this thing is severely yellowed, and there's only one screw holder left. This one's gone, which I think if I can find a long enough screw, maybe I can get it to be held on by 2 screws. This one's just gone for good, same with this one, so I'm really hoping that I can get this all fitted back on it properly, because one thing is for sure, I do not have gold paint, and painting this would probably just be a lot of really time consuming, so there's nothing really much I can do for that. But for anyone who's been wanting to see this thing working again, like I said, progress is good. So stay tuned for more. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.